Good evening, guys. So in this video we're gonna implement the attack animation inside the animation blueprint of the zombie character. So we're gonna start by accessing the zombie anim BP, the anim graph. So we're gonna make some modification to the anim graph of the animation blueprint of the zombie. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna unhook the state machine from the output pose, and we drag out the line, and we search for cache. We choose a new save cached pose. This node is gonna save a cache of the state machine. We're gonna name this cache. State machine cache. State machine cache. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna use it elsewhere inside the graph. So state machine use cached pose state machine cache, and then we're gonna drag the line and search for layered blend per bone. So what this function do is it's gonna blend between two poses according to the bone, the level of the bone that we're gonna choose. So above this bone it's gonna be this pose, this animation. Below this bone, below the level of this bone, it's gonna be the base pose, the base animation. So we're gonna choose our bone, the best bone for this blending between two animations. We're gonna access skeleton, then in the character icon, the bones menu, we select all hierarchy for the bone drawing. Excuse me. We have the visibility for all the bones. So we're gonna choose the bone spine 02. This bone. So below this bone it's gonna be the base pose. Above the level of this bone it's gonna be the blend pose 0. So here in the details of the node of the function, layer setup one member, we're gonna add an array element for the branch filters. We type the name of the bone, which is spine underscore 02, and we're gonna hit enter to validate, to submit the information, the data. We hook the output of this function to the output pose, and then here what we're gonna do, we're gonna make a copy of the cache. So this is the animation of the state machine. We're gonna drag and pick his name is slot. We're gonna create a slot. We're gonna add a slot in the graph, a slot node, and then we hook up the output to blend pose 0. Inside this node, in the anim slot, the name of the tab is, just to be clear, anim slot manager. Its name should be anim slot manager. Okay, so we add a slot and we're gonna call it upper body. So upper body, and we're gonna choose it here as a slot for this function, for this node. So what happens, what's gonna happen here is, for the base pose we have the state machine animation, and for the blend pose, that is the pose above the spine O2 bone, it's gonna be by default the state machine animation. But here we added the node, the anim graph node slot, which situates, which indicates a slot for additional animation that we might launch manually inside Blueprint. That is to say, so the animation, this animation that we're gonna launch manually, we're gonna launch them in the form of animation montage. Inside these animation montages, we're gonna indicate the slot upper body. So when we launch these animations inside, for example, the blueprint zombie or any other blueprint, these are gonna be launched inside this slot, and they're gonna override the animation that precedes them, which is the state machine cache. So our attack animation montage, when it's launched, it's gonna be above the level of the bone O2. If it's not launched, when it terminates, when it completes, it's gonna be the default animation of the state machine, which is the blend space that we did the last time. So here that will be all for the animation graph of the animation blueprint. We compile, we save, and then what we should do is we're gonna create the animation montage for the attack animation. So inside the zombie folder in which we worked the last time, add import, add animation montage. We choose our skeleton for this montage. Of course, it's the UE4 mannequin skeleton inside the game mannequin. We choose this one, of course, and we call our montage zombie attack. We call the other ones, the other animations. It's better to call it, where is it, the montage? Here it is. It's better to call it attack montage, and that's it. It's simpler. So we open the montage. This asset allows us to create a montage composed of different animations. So here we're gonna add in the asset browser the animation that we did with the controller rig, which are we have the zombie walk. Where is the left hand and the right hand? Third person, because we already did the glowing left and the glowing right for our character. So where is the problem? attack montage. Alright, third person, side enemies, montage sections. The skeleton we chose the right one. If I open these animations, it's they are still animations for the skeleton of the control rig. So what I'm gonna do is to retarget these animations. Glowing left and glowing right to the skeleton of our character, which is the zombie. Not this one. Mannequin. And retarget. I'm gonna copy, move them to the appropriate folder. Move here. Could not be rename it. Close. Okay. Because it refuses to replace the glowing right, glowing left. It refuses to replace referenced in memory. Force delete. Refuses to replace the already existing files inside the zombie folder. So I deleted them. Zombie, move here. Alright, I should see them here, because the last time we already did the right retargeting. So we have the animations now, glowing left, glowing right, as the other custom animation zombie walk, but we're gonna only use glowing left and glowing right for the attack animation. We start by adding glowing right to the animation montage, and we add the glowing left animation. We have the two animations inside the animation montage. So I'm gonna hide the bones, character, bones, bone drawing selected only. So we have the skeletal mesh opaque, and we're gonna see the montage for the attack. So our zombie should attack like this. Of course, these are not perfect animations. We're gonna do some for now we're gonna work with them. We're gonna do some adjustment to the fingers to have the form of glowing hand. So we're gonna work with this for now. Here in montage sections tab, we have the section, because montages are composed of sections. We have the default section, but we can add other sections to make the montage a smart montage, so we can indicate in blueprint the section that we want. But here we're gonna just have one section for this montage, and what we're gonna do, pick the next section. We're gonna just indicate that it would be default. It will be default the same section that is a loop of the montage. So it's gonna be a loop of the montage. The montage is gonna be just looping forever until it's stopped inside from blueprint. So we save everything and we save the skeleton, and now inside we go back to the zombie character blueprint event graph. Here, for the overlapping of the zombie collision capsule, we're gonna adjust activate or deactivate the melee variable. So here for when our character for when the first person character, the player character enters this collision, that is begin overlap, we're gonna set melee to true. It's gonna drive the animation blueprint, so to activate the attack animation. And here, for when our character leaves the collision, that is and overlap, we're gonna just set melee to false, and the attack animation is gonna stop. So we increase the size of the command rectangle, we save, compile and save. Back to the animation blueprint. Here in the event graph we should get the variable melee on a per frame basis. So we're gonna drag off a wire from our zombie character, our zombie character, and we're gonna search for melee, the variable melee, get melee, promote to variable inside the animation blueprint. We call it simply melee, the same name. The engine chose this name by default inside my blueprint panel. So we have the variable, we have melee inside the animation blueprint, and we're gonna drag off from melee a branch. So if melee is true, we're gonna just launch the attack montage. So attack montage, we're gonna search for inside the menu, event graph menu, for montage play. Indicate our montage, attack montage. And then if it is false, we're gonna just stop this montage. So it's gonna of course execute inside this slot, this node, overriding the animation that precedes him. Back to event graph. False, montage stop, and we indicate the same montage, of course, attack montage. But here something should be informed, is that should be said, is that if we leave it this way, the montage is gonna always be launched and we're gonna see nothing, just the start of the montage, the attack montage. So we should add other stuff inside the blueprint, which are do once, the do once node. It should play the montage just once. It should launch the montage just one time. So the montage is gonna be playing when our character, when this variable go back to false, the montage is gonna be stopped and this node is gonna be resetted. As long as this node is not resetted, this is gonna only execute one time. I hope this is clear. So we're gonna do like this. We compile and we save our animation blueprint. So it should be all to have an attack animation on the player character. We save all just in case, and then we have our player start inside the map. we launch the gameplay and we see how it goes. The character, us, going to the perimeter of the zombie, following us, waiting for him to see how he does. He's not launching the animation. Gonna see the situation here. Attack montage, animation blueprint, montage stop, montage play, montage length, completed, start closed, no, true, he launched the montage, false, montage stop, as it should be, set melee. I think there has been something, set melee, begin overlap, okay, and overlap, okay, attack montage, so guys, I'm gonna debug this situation. I will be back to you in a second. So I solved this little problem that occurred. The cause of this problem is that we forgot to, of course, indicate the slot for the animation montage. Here we should indicate, instead of default slot, it should be the slot that we indicated in our animation blueprint, which is the upper body slot. Back to attack montage. As it should be done, we choose from slot, we choose slot name instead of default slot upper body. We keep the group default group as it is for what we want, and we save our animation montage. So don't be distracted by this change of pause, guys. So it has no effect. So back to the gameplay. It should be working as expected now. So we move to our character, the zombie. Now it's launching the animation. We're gonna work further more on this animation to make it looking more like glowing rather than dancing or something like that. So we're gonna change the situation of the fingers, their what we call their position, the form of the hand to look like more like glowing. So if I go away from the zombie, it stops the animation. There is also this problem, is that he changes direction when he's in the attack animation. We're gonna also solve this problem in the next video. So, but just to make something clear, when I go away from him, he directly change to the other animation, which we don't want. We want him to go back to the animation when he finished one punch. That is to say, when, meaning he can only go to the animation of the blank space when he launch a punch. He should wait for it to finish before going back to the attack animation, for this to look more natural rather than directly going back to the blank space, to the previous animation. You see, we're gonna do all of this in the next video to finish up the animation blueprint once and for all for our first enemy. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.